All right, everyone, prepare to witness one of the most insane political rants that I have seen. Of course, it comes from Nancy Pelosi. That's not a huge surprise. Link in the description, not archived. This is a video clip. I suggest that all of you watch it. It's only a minute long, in which Nancy Pelosi, and please, excuse me, can somebody please explain to me, number one, why she thought this rant was a good idea, and number two, exactly what she's talking about half the time? She has become so incoherent and is so obviously inebriated on a regular basis that I don't even know, like, half of this, what the hell she's even saying, honestly. It's mainly about the fact that the shutdown is negatively affecting trans kids. She thought that this was a wise idea to bring it up at this time. So, troop pay, that's not a priority. LEOs, yeah, that can wait till later. Actually funding, SNAP benefits and stuff, apparently not on the agenda either. And it appears that the Trump administration is actually taking care of that. There's a reason they're not talking about that so much in the news today. Pelosi's main goal, apparently, is to restore funding in order to trans children. No, I'm serious. Look at the fucking video. This is insane. This is evidence of her ongoing madness, her spiral, her descent into absolute lunacy. Now, Pelosi has been unwell for a while. We've all known this. We can see it. I mean, like that time that she took the knee for BLM and then literally couldn't get off the ground without being aided. Pelosi is a crazy old woman. She's got crazy ideas and always has, actually, even when she was younger. But she's grown crazier and crazier. It's like an inverse of Fetterman. Fetterman starts out stroked out and therefore, of course, far left, and then sort of says, and when he regains his composure, he's like, ah, shit, what a hell of a bender I was on, and, becomes sane, at least by Democratic Party standards. He effectively is the leader of the Democratic Party at this point, as far as intellect goes, which is saying something. Nancy Pelosi, meanwhile, has gone in the other direction. She's just death spiraling into literal madness. I don't know what she's saying. For a good 30 seconds of this 1 minute video, I don't know what the hell message she's trying to convey. It makes absolutely no sense. She probably doesn't know either. That's the problem. Focusing on transing kids in context with the shutdown, which is negatively affecting a lot of Americans. Look at air traffic control, the SNAP problem, the fact that somebody, a private anonymous donor, had to fund the goddamn troops. And this is really what you're focused on? This is your priority? All right, the Democratic Party has totally healed from its wounds over the last few elections and totally has grown a soul. This is one of the leaders of the Democratic Party. Now, if this was some random representative or something, somebody who was, lower or a mayor or something like that, then I would say, oh, maybe it's newsworthy. But when the former House Speaker, who intends to run again for election, and God help anyone who votes for her at this point watching this friggin' video, the fact that the former House Speaker and still one of the ranking Democrats, she's on committees and everything else, the fact that she's saying such weird things which don't make sense and or don't make sense, it depends on which level of not making sense it is more than anything else. In some cases in this video, she's completely incoherent. Like, I don't even know exactly what message she's trying to convey. When she does manage to push through a message, it's, oh, well, it's really, really sad that we can't trans kids right now. Money's not there. What are you talking about? You've already lost on this particular issue anyway. The Democratic Party has taken great attrition over specifically this type of issue. Critical race theory and DEI, transing kids, sphincterbation books in schools and stuff like that. You've lost on this issue. Society has rejected it. Why are you continuing to push it? It does not make sense. So when the message does get through, occasionally during this particular rant, it's not the message that you really want to convey. Yeah, don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, I suppose, but Nancy Pelosi's so retarded at this point that it really doesn't make a difference if you try to correct her. It doesn't make any difference because she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Nobody else does either. This is a clear-cut case of somebody who's, I mean, she's beyond Joe Biden. Joe Biden, it's like, okay, he gets confused. Sometimes he wanders off. Sometimes he trips up the stairs. In fact, it happened quite frequently during his so-called presidency. And that became a problem. I noticed that the left has defaulted to trying to claim that Donald Trump is unwell. I don't see him tripping over sandbags or up the stairs of Air Force One, so I don't think that there's any particular problem there. But when you have this kind of particular diatribe from a politician, you can safely say that this person is unwell. Imagine if your grandmother were to go off on this kind of spree and say this kind of weird shit. You'd be saying, Grandma, are you okay? Do you need some help? You know, I do have the numbers for several, care homes and stuff like that. You'd be saying that. You'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But she's been crazy for so long, I guess the people around her didn't get the memo. They just don't really give a fuck anymore because they just know that she's fucking nuts. And she is nuts. Let's call a spade here. Nancy Pelosi has lost her friggin' mind. In order to make this kind of commentary, you have to lack both political pragmatism because you've lost on these moral issues and you lack coherence. So you can't even really, I mean, I guess that ameliorates it slightly because if you can't actually get your message across most of the time, people will just say you're babbling or something like that. I think that that was the whole goal, I suppose. Nancy Pelosi is clearly not well. Schumer must be taking, by the way, great, great humor in this because Chuck Schumer was led around like a little Bichon Frise by Nancy Pelosi for years and years because she was top dog and he was sort of like the cuck. He would always she pretty much literally led him around on a leash. You're my dog. Do what I tell you to do. Now she can't even tell anyone what to do because she can't even talk, basically. This was complete incoherence. I watched this video like 5 fucking times. It was so hilarious. But at the same time, it's also a little bit on the sad side. Why don't you just go away? She should not be in Congress. There's no reasonable explanation for why the Democrats would even tolerate her running again. But then again, they're running a bunch of communists at the moment, so I guess that probably shouldn't come as much of a surprise either. It's about all. Peace out.